Thank you for listening to this sticky podcast.
I don't know how I feel about this anymore.
That's gonna be the intro of the podcast. Exactly like that. Yeah. Welcome to this podcast. This is a vodcast of the podcast from We're Alive Descendants. That's it. It's just We're Alive Descendants, and we're gonna talk about. This is the podcast where we talk about every episode's review, assume things, and also make predictions and reviews of the current We're Alive podcast, Descendants, and we are in Chapter 5, Survival of the Fittest, Part 2 of 2. My name is AJ.
Ace.
WAKKA.
Welcome.
Oh, that was way better. All right,
It's been a while.
it's been a while. All right, so we are, like I said, we're gonna talk about We're Alive Descendants, Chapter 5. We're in Chapter 5 now. How many chapters do we have left before the mid-season break?
Now.
Oh, this is mid-season break?
Yeah.
I thought we have one more.
No, because at the end of the episode it said join us back this fall
Oh, you're right.
for the second half of
That's
We're
right.
Alive.
That's right.
So
Descendants.
wait, there's only 14 chapters?
So it's
Oh,
looking,
no,
it's
10?
looking like there's gonna be 10 chapters per
man.
season, not for this one. Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's only
season. I
yeah,
forgot. Season,
per season.
season.
This one's only got 2 episode difference, so
Yeah.
or a 2 chapter difference.
Where
so.
are we at in Story Survival? Like, Story Survival is how many chapters per season?
12.
12.
Yeah,
Well,
they were.
12. 12 chapters
but
per
like
season.
Three,
And there
or,
were like
you know,
three
one.
parts.
Yeah,
Three
three
parts.
parts. Makes sense. All right, so yeah, if you haven't listened to this episode, Survival of the Fittest, Part 2 of 2, you probably shouldn't watch this. This is not going to be a podcast for you. We're still going to be here, so listen to that episode and then come back. Or listen to the whole thing wherever you're at. If it's 2023 and everything is already released, listen to the whole thing and then come back to this episode. We're still going to be here. If you care about the spoilers and you care about if you don't care about spoilers and if you listen to the whole podcast, then join us. We're gonna review, assume, make predictions and what we think and what we like about this episode. All right, well, before we continue further, before we talk about the episode, there are a lot of things that we need to talk about. First things first, before the important announcement, we have an important announcement. If you're not part of the Facebook fan page, then you probably
You're just missing
not
out.
know yet. You probably don't know yet. Let's start with our YouTube comments. This is from your very own Casey Wayland. Commented about a lot of things. I guess mainly 2 things, right?
Yeah, mainly just the 2 things.
Yeah. It was just the 2.
2 things that's really important, right? So let's start with the one that's just arguably what we talked about in when Vera was really mad while she was practicing with Vincent, right?
Yep.
What?
You got that. That was you.
I know, yeah, you're right. It was totally like she was totally listening to Nick. And in my defense, like what I said to that episode, I didn't feel the romanticization between specifically the Vera to Nick. Because we know that Nick does not like Vera, right? Can we all agree with that?
it's a love triangle right there.
Right.
That's all. That's what it is. So
Right.
she's the odd angle, and so she's salty.
Yeah, exactly.
Rightfully so.
So if I don't feel any love connection from Nick to Vera, that's understandable. But the Vera to Nick is questionable to me. It's like, that's why I was a little hesitant.
Yeah, it's one of those things like the whole time she's just fighting it. She's
Right.
like, no, I don't think I actually do.
yeah.
But the whole time it's very obvious from her. She's like, yeah.
She
Yeah,
really
I
knows how to
do.
bottle them down, man.
Bottom.
You know, I have something that I need you to say,
Go ahead.
but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, you got
No, that's all she says.
Oh, okay.
She's
Well,
like,
that was a good
she's like,
cliffhanger.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
she's
that's
like,
right.
she's like, you know, I just really got this thing weighing on me,
Right.
but I can't tell you right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on.
Hold on. So I know we're not gonna talk about we're not talking about the episode yet, but based on what Nick said, do we assume then that Nick already knows that Vera likes him?
It can go either way. I think he does, and I
Yeah.
think like eventually, it's gonna be a Michael and Peg situation.
Yeah.
Where she's gonna tell me like,
Oh.
I had an idea, or I figured.
Right.
It's like, wait.
Yeah. Because Nick stopped her, right? Because it was almost like that again, where Vera's about to say something, and Nick said, "Nope, hold, nope, you know, like she stopped.
Well, Vera kind of stopped herself for a second, so he like kind of just skipped over it afterwards.
Yeah.
She's like, I really have this like this thing weighing on me. I need to do it, and I need to get it out. She's like, but I can't yet. Or she said like, now's not the right time or something like that. And then he immediately just walked on. He's like, all right, well, have fun. Good luck.
And then the big one, I think, in my opinion, is Casey confirming that Fredo still might be alive.
That was trippy. When he confirmed that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
That's not from the that's not from the previous episode. That's like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, I was definitely like, I thought that the end of Lockdown, when it did the flashback to Fredo, I thought that was their way of saying like Fredo was the one that was left in the jail, and so he was like the crazy one whose ribs were like jacked up, and he was the one that was the quote unquote best fit. So I thought that's what that was leaning to, but no, he said that at the end of Story of Survival he was still alive. Yeah. And since all that ended pre Story of Survival's actual ending. So now we can say that Fredo is still alive, whether he's in Prim or not. He's still alive. He's still out there.
To all you believers that Fredo, it could be Fredo.
Well, we know that he was alive at the end of that, so he could or could not be. It really depends on if he is one of the green eyes that have like the special might have a special longevity of life,
right?
Or I mean, it doesn't seem like any of the Gen 1s are still alive otherwise.
My thing is this. Fredo is a vital character in Lockdown, and for us not to know what happened to him, it's kind of like it's a letdown, It's like what's his name? Skittles, right? If you don't hear anything from Skittles again, that's like, oh, come on. Like, he played a very well job in Story of Survival. He disappeared, and we never heard anything from him. Lockdown or Gold Rush, Like, we have to. Yeah.
Dang. I just don't know now.
I just don't know now.
So many questions.
Right.
I know, man.
All right, so here's the announcement, and we're so excited about this. Probably one person between this group is more excited than the other two.
Yeah.
For a very personal reason, for sure. We have Casey Wayland offered us to do a podcast or guest swap, right?
Yep.
Guest swap. Basically, we're gonna be guesting in his podcast, the We're Alive Archives, which, by the way, WAKKA thought it's Washington Archives because it's WA.
WA, is that where he's at? But it just dawned on me we're alive.
Yeah. I've been hanging out with Ace to know that WA is We're Alive, because he, like, every time we talk about We're Alive, he always say
I always shorthand it. Yeah,
WA. Yeah. And when he said Washington Archives, I'm like, what? No, it's We're Alive. Oh, that makes so much sense.
That's better.
Yeah,
my bad.
And then we're gonna have him as a guest in this podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's gonna be lit.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be so much fun.
For sure, it's gonna be awesome. Ace and I, we were just talking about it earlier during church, and I'm like, we gotta ask him some good questions, not like some of the questions that's already been asked, like what inspired you to do this podcast, which it's important, but it's out there already, we don't need to ask that.
It's not a lingering question still.
Right. No, there's some, especially him, he has some questions to ask. And one of the, between the three of us, like I said, one of three is too excited and geeked out and nerd out about this upcoming interview to Casey Wayland. And guess who it is? It's Ace.
I'm feeling a little attacked right now. Feeling like a couple shots.
So why are you so attached to this? Like, I mean, we're attached, but you are way more attached than us.
So back in 2014, getting towards the end of Story Survival, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was chapter 45 part 3 or something.
Oh wow,
very accurate.
It was either 45 or 46 part 3, released while I was in the hospital after having a major brain surgery. And so while I was in the hospital for a week, I just re-binged all of We're Alive, and then by the time I got to the end, like I watched the latest episode, and then so for the next, couple months, because it did take some time, if I remember right, that for it to all come out. I was week after week, I was watching it, and like it was kind of keeping me stable, because it was the only thing that was consistent anymore. I had brain surgery, couldn't play sports anymore, couldn't go back to college, couldn't do 80% of the stuff I was doing. So I just had a little pick line in my arm and listening to We're Alive constantly.
Casey Whalen, thank you for looking after my boy. Thank you.
So you could say that you kept him sane.
Yes.
Like part of his brain is gone. No, not brain, but the head is gone. But he's still normal. And big part of that.
What normal?
Is your podcast. Kept him sane.
What's normal?
Definitely not this. That's 100% fact. Like I can't be the benchmark for normality. You know what I mean? All right, awesome. That's awesome. We're so excited.
Yeah, man.
We're so excited, Casey. I know I kept saying that if you're listening to this, now I can't say that anymore because I know you're listening to this.
I know, man.
So when you listen to this, we want to tell you that we're so excited and so geeked out. It's gonna change our lives. Like this thing is gonna change our lives 100%. Like I don't even care. Here's my thing, right? This is my YouTube page. I don't even care if my YouTube account does not grow. Like right now, us having you as our guest in our podcast is just completed the whole thing. It's like a complete fulfillment, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's a fulfillment of the
we
pod.
just had a hero in our pod. We're done.
Yeah, because usually, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you have to build your followers and be popular until you find a popular.
Tens of thousands, tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, million even before you start getting like that gold person or peoples.
Yeah.
For real.
And for us, we skip that. Like, screw it. 22 followers? It doesn't matter.
We got it.
We got it. We got you.
We're retiring.
Right? Oh, dude. Awesome. So let's talk about this chapter.
Yeah.
So just a disclaimer. I did not listen fully in this chapter, so of the
2 times that we listened to it in the last 2 hours.
I know, and I was telling them there's not a lot in this chapter or in this
this part.
In this part or in this episode. There's not a lot in this episode, but there's too much in this episode at the same time. It's like so much information.
There's not a lot happening, but there's all that information and like kind of politics going left and right all over the table.
Right?
Yes.
Out of all that, though, speaking of something that's a lot, freaking Walrus has so many jobs. Like, did you guys realize?
Everywhere.
Like,
everywhere.
You guys realize Walrus was with us from the train
all the way to where
the
he
arena.
Is now.
Like,
well, yeah, but it makes sense though, because if he's the one that's running the arena, like he might not be the one that's like in charge, but he's the one running the arena, making sure everything's happening properly.
Yeah.
When they get new contestants, he's starting his job with bringing them in.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense, but literally they haven't gone anywhere outside of when they went and saw Will.
Right.
They haven't done anything without the Walrus being there. But even when they were done seeing Will, they came back and there he was.
Where are they?
I mean, I feel like this episode or this fight is just too special, and we all noticed that in this episode that this whole thing is so special that I think Boar requested. I mean, I could see it. Boar requested Walrus to MC the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like this is a very important fight.
Yeah,
or something.
Well, it seems kind of like he's used to being the one talking.
Right.
Like,
right.
It seems like he's the announcer because he's the one running the fights.
Yeah, and the way that he announced her, because apparently the way how he announced it, from my interpretation, I know I'm jumping ahead, it made it seem that the board rarely comes. She just does her thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But until the show happened, or the
special fight.
It made me think very much of like gladiatorial stuff, because like they have a lot of like coliseums and stuff like that. They'll have like the guy that's running the coliseum,
right?
But then they'll have their king or emperor or something along those lines. And if like if something's going on, like something big, they have some big prisoner or like some huge event or like their yearly event, whatever it is going on, then at that time the emperor comes in and they're like, so they're doing everything as normal. Let's take a second look up at the emperor. Yeah, he's right here. Back to the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what it felt like. It felt like the reigning king stopped by to see what is said to be one of the best matches because they have some of the best trained out there, and it's all happening because of the boar. Okay, back on to the main event.
Exactly. Yep. Agreed.
All right, let's talk about the beginning part of this. As soon as the episode started, we are
walking.
Yeah, we are faced by all of the contestants, including the Coma and Walrus, walking, and we can assume that it's going in the arena because we can hear people shouting and cheering and what's happening
backstage or whatever you call it.
They're in the backstage or underground. I don't know. I don't know where
whatever it is.
Wherever it is.
Right. There's cheering. That means there's something going on. Okay, so and this question. Okay, my question is, do they wait for the game to be over? I know in this episode, right, the game was done because Walrus said, "Oh, I missed it. Now I gotta watch the replay." You know, do they like wait for the fight to be over before the next fight comes in, or they like put something on top of it?
I think that it's a much smaller kind of dome than what we initially thought, because initially we thought like Hunger Games, so it was gonna be big, possibly have multiple biomes, blah blah blah,
right?
But I think it is like one section of Hunger Games, because remember, like as the game would go on, they would start cutting out sections, like you can't be in section 4, you can't be in section 4 or 7, you can't be in 3, you can't be in, and so they would cut it out. So I think it was just like one section, but instead of it being like that long pie piece, it's just a dome. And so I think they're just sitting, it's just in that, probably a pretty decent size still, because if they're gonna have any kind of hiding and all that crap going on,
it's gotta be, because if you include water and winter, you know, in that place, you have to have a very advanced stuff going on.
I'm thinking it's gotta be maybe a couple miles.
Yeah, it's gotta be, because because you're putting like multiple zombies in the area, you know,
putting multiple breeds, and we've seen already that a lot of them don't get along. So some might take out the others unless they both have their preferred kind of positioning. Some hiding in the trees, some hiding in the snow.
Then the size that we're thinking, it can't just... what I'm trying to say is that then how about that island, Waterworld? There's supposed to be a body of water on the island in the middle, which is the shape of a dragon. Yeah. So it has to be big, right?
Yeah.
The way I'm thinking, it's probably, I'm just throwing it out there. 3 football fields wide. 3 football fields wide.
I'm not surprised if it's the whole Vegas.
It's bigger than that.
I'm not surprised if the whole Vegas. You know,
all of Vegas.
Like the whole city of Vegas.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Like all of like the Prim area and stuff.
Yeah, like Prim, and then the downtown where the strip is. You know, like the Vegas Strip. Like,
all of the strip.
I won't be. I like the strip itself. I won't be surprised if that's the size, because you have to remember, right? The areas in there, like the Waterworld or the Heartland and things like that, those are not just the only islands. Those are not just the only locations, because the way they were giving like information in the paper, right? They didn't say, "Oh, you're gonna go to Waterworld. You're gonna go to what was the second one?" Because there's 3 locations, right?
Heartland, Waterworld, and Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland. So when they were saying like, "We're gonna go to Winter Wonderland. You're gonna go to Waterworld," they didn't say "and Heartland." They just said you're gonna go to Heartland. That means there's more locations. They just so happen to choose Winter Wonderland 3. And Waterworld and Heartland. So there might be more locations in there.
It might be just big, like you said.
Yeah.
I could very well see it being like 5, probably 5-ish.
Yeah.
Because then it's like they would all have enough space to be big, but not unreasonably big.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's say each one's a couple miles in diameter. Like, a couple miles. That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
That's a lot of space, and that means, and it might even be a little bit bigger than that, because I mean, if they got to be trained to actually run a lot of people can run 2 miles consistently.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
I mean,
so
especially
maybe
for
even like 5.
Especially for Guardians, you know.
Yeah, they're trained in it. They're trained in distance. They're trained in, you know, their goal is to tire out after the zombies are out of sight or dead.
Yeah.
Like they're trained to go until they're safe from the infected.
Especially now, because your enemies are not just human beings that has limitations. You know,
right?
Like these are zombies.
Right.
If this place is as big as we're thinking, man, just how many people are there to attend it? I mean, they make it sound like it's so full.
Yeah, I mean, like you hear like that stadium roar, and like I would almost see like a standard Coliseum size of people that might be watching over like a big projection or big.
You know what it reminds me?
Something toward the bottom.
It reminds me of Harry Potter during that Quidditch fight. You know, that Coliseum, how humongous it is. And tall. Yeah, it's something like that. But of course, that it's not like that because that was so ridiculous that physics doesn't apply in that Coliseum. You know.
Yeah, but that size, I mean, it could make sense.
Like the length, not the height.
Yeah,
like the length. For sure.
I mean, even the height a little bit.
No, that height was incredibly ridiculous. It's
yeah, but still being like 30 to 50 feet up. Like I could see a Coliseum's walls being up like that, especially with the different types of infected there are.
Right.
They don't want a random bystander to get hit by an ice spear.
I'm just surprised that there's still that many people alive after 18 years.
Well, I mean, 1, they've had time to repopulate a little bit. 2, we already saw like how many people were alive in Boulder.
Yeah,
well,
like,
you're right.
Thousands of
was
people.
Was it 100,000?
Not 100,000. No. But like thousands of people were there.
A lot of people.
And then from there, you had thousands of people there, and that was just one place.
Yeah. Well, that was reasonable. I mean, but I'm just thinking about the stadium.
Yeah, and that wasn't in one of the 3 like major, currently known major locations. Because it wasn't near Westport, it wasn't near the Republic, and it wasn't really near the Alliance.
Yep.
And so it's like, if those are big things, and Boulder was just Boulder.
Yeah.
They didn't call it anything. It wasn't anything other than the town.
Yeah.
Man.
That's right. So we started walking, and we had a conversation with arguing, right? Because
everyone was very on edge.
Yeah, because Walrus said we gotta get not tested,
blood test,
not COVID-19.
Everyone get blood drawn.
Blood drawn. Yeah. And okay, so I know how stubborn they are, but they explained this in the beginning of the whole thing, right? During the fight and what's gonna happen, and they said there's people waiting for you and they're gonna try to cure you and things like that. I get it why you have to be problematic and complaining a lot of times, but to you guys, if someone said that you're gonna be out here, you're gonna be training here or fighting people here, and then when you go outside, whatever problems you have, unless you are infected, we're gonna try to fix it, right? And if they said they're gonna draw blood, would you still question it? Like, to me, it's understandable, you know, like to match blood and things like that.
Yeah, but it would still be hard because, like, what if while they're doing tests, they do a test that Westport doesn't have, and they see something with Nick?
No, I mean, I get that part, because Nick complained, right? But it's not just Nick that complained. Like, all of them complained.
Well, so Alex complained because he's complained about everything so far about Prim. So that was just following character. Lisa was complaining because she didn't want to get poked. Nick complained because of his blood.
Right.
Vera didn't really complain.
Yeah.
And so, like, each one had their very valid reasons and very valid ways to go about it.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's valid because it's like, if you're gonna be in a fight and they want them to cure you or fix you, they have to match blood. It's like, to me, that's just and second, right? I mean, we hear this or we read this in the Facebook fan page all the time, how much Nick and the rest of the gang complain a lot. Like, do they not understand they don't have any other choice?
Well, and that's the thing. They've always had a choice.
Yeah,
they've always had
well,
a choice.
yeah. There's always a choice of not going and getting killed, but if you don't want to get killed, that means you don't have any other choice but just to do this.
Yeah, but they don't realize that. Like, they don't know what it's like to not have a choice and be like not be able to say no.
Right.
In a situation.
I mean,
they've always been able to.
But then again, they didn't know what's the point of getting your blood drawn at first.
So
they got explained till after.
Yeah, they complained before.
Right.
They were told why.
Before that. And they're like, and then that's why, like, after he got his blood drawn, Alex said A positive.
Right.
And
like, just so you know, it's A positive.
Yeah. He's like, I already know. You didn't even have to test me.
I thought that was Vincent who said that. Like,
no, it was Vincent. I can see
Vincent.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see Vincent saying that more than more than anybody else. But I don't know. It's just, to me, you are in a situation where you don't have any choice. Where I get what you're saying. Like they're all so privileged that they always have an option for anything.
Well,
they've never gone through any of these. But at the same time, it's like
it's like their whole lives have just been peace.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're facing something that's like, it's either you get killed or you want to fight. Potentially you get killed. But you actually don't have any choice. Just do this, and then if they we need to draw blood. I don't know. I feel like I just connect 2 and 2, but like I said, that's like in the real world, not in a produced
and that's where Vera's at. Vera's exactly where you're at. She's like, just go with it. We'll be good.
do it.
Roll with it.
We'll be fine.
Procedure, like the less issue we make here, the less issue we get back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she seems very much like, let's just do it. Like, do it, get it over with, win.
Yeah.
Bye.
She definitely got that from her mom, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100% from her mom.
She's so much like her mom, man.
You know what I mean? She didn't play safe like her mom, but she know what she's doing. Like mentality and logic and all that intellectual is from mom for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you, CJ.
All right.
So they argue about that, and then who answers that question?
For what?
How they're like, why am I getting my blood drawn? Who answers?
Oh, that's Will.
Well, no. Well, that's before that, but who do we get introduced to officially?
Are you talking about the boar in there?
Yeah. That's when they get their blood drawn, and then that's where the boar pops out, and I was like, who's this lady?
Well, Will informed them, walked away, then the boar.
Was it?
No, it's boar first.
I thought it was boar first.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know why it's the boar first, because we were listening to it earlier, and my kids were around, and Nick cussed. he cussed out boar. That's why I know it was
got
boar
it right
first.
here.
Yeah. It's like, kids, you guys gotta get out of here.
When the boar came out, I thought it was a radio voice thing, but I'm assuming they saw her on a TV screen when she was answering why they're getting their blood drawn and so forth. I
actually picture it being, those interrogation room where you're like
on the other side of the window or mirror. Yeah.
Because Wallace yelled, "Get off the wall," or get away from the wall.
Yes. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, their thought of almost like the angled wall, kind of like like in operating rooms and stuff like that. How they'll have
I see that. I can see
wall
that.
where people watch the surgeries and stuff like that. That's what I thought of. Someone just kind of walked in from up there talking down. Because you're talking down to them in a place of power.
Yeah, because there's no point for Walrus saying, "Get away from the wall."
Right.
Like, why? It's a TV monitor. What am I going to do with that? Hurt it?
I will disqualify.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Over the place.
Yo, that's, by the way, that was my favorite line in this episode. I will disqualify you all over the place. That was my favorite line.
Dude, Walrus is a beast.
Yeah,
real, man.
To say the least.
All he's really done so far is have lines and dialect. He hasn't really done anything other than the one time he knocked out Nick.
Yeah.
But bro, this dude, he's got like that Durai kind of power, and he hasn't done anything.
Right.
You know who he reminds me? He reminds me of the recent Transformer movie, the one Decepticons, Autobots. The Autobots guy with the gunner.
Oh, the gunner
guy. The Irish gunner guy. That's what he reminds me of. Like, he doesn't... Like, I can imagine him fighting all the infected with all the guns. Like, boom, boom, like, what else you got? Boom. That's all I can imagine. Or Borderlands. You remember that big guy in Borderlands?
Berserker or whatever?
Or? No, the first one. Oh, the very big guy. He's friends with the guy with the hawk, right? That's like he's just all muscle. that's Walrus.
Man.
Yeah,
you just.
when Walrus said that, did he pull out? Did it sound like he pulled out a gun?
He definitely did.
Okay.
He didn't pull out. He clicked. He's like,
I will disqualify you all over the place.
Bro, vicious.
Yo, that was a good line.
Vicious.
That was such a good line. Because you don't expect it. Because you're just going to expect it, I will disqualify you, right? Yeah. And then you follow it all over the place.
It's making that vivid connection that's like, there's actual, like, there's an issue here.
Yeah, because if I shoot you, you're going to be all over the place. And you're disqualified, too. It's like, it's just too golden. It's golden.
Nice. I knew I liked you,
and
Walrus.
then we... And then Nakoma was there and telling them, you have to do this and that.
Stick with your training.
Stick with your training. Help. And then she said that heartfelt, but very, I don't want to say dramatic. It's a heartfelt saying or motivation, but it doesn't mean anything to all of them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I hope you guys win. And Vera said a phenomenal statement there, which is like, it's awesome, when she said, I don't want you to wish that we're gonna win because of us, not because you hope it.
I say like that. It's a bittersweet line because it's like Nakoma is trying very hard. Like she's like, yeah, this is what I have to do.
Right.
But I want you guys to win.
Yeah.
So I have to be against you, but I want the best for you.
Right.
I want you to be able to get out of here and go home.
Yeah. This is the scene.
But I have to put you here.
This scene kind of put what you said from the last pod, like giving a big sister vibe towards Vera.
Yeah, like everyone was very short with Nakoma here, and it's because everyone is so high strung and stressed. Like even Dot this time. Yeah. Like we're like, well, Vera said like we don't want to hear this from our captor. Yeah. And then Dot just goes, Dot. Like it's just like the very aggressive. And it's like, oh, like Dot's actually like. This is like might be the first time Dot's actually shown like actual like anger or like very much disapproval, because like the whole time like she's been like she's had kind of like a couple aggressive moments towards Alex, but it's not been like that mad.
Yo, we have to talk about Dot. Like we have to talk about that towards the end of this podcast or when we get into that, which is almost there.
It's about right here because
it's about right there with Will and with Dot.
Because what happens is the boar brings up who everybody is in this moment. Yeah, they're like, we've got some celebrities. We've got 4 guardians and the legendary survivor Dot.
Right.
She survived all these years.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All these years in the City of Lost Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And going forth to say like it's in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So one of my 2 theories with that ended up being right, where I said she was either going to be like Skittles' kid or she's going to be from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Which, because then now they're connecting the 3 kind of areas. They've got the Guardians. They've got as of right now, we're kind of assuming Vincent's from around like the area-ish.
Yeah.
And then Dot from the East Coast.
Right.
So it's kind of having those 3 connecting points now.
I saw a post on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook fan page. I forgot her name, but she said that what if it turns out that Dot is Skittles' daughter? I'm oh, we had that conversation in the podcast. That scene with Vera Nakoma when she said, "I don't want you to wish that." It reminds me of one episode it might be in that Will Smith show before with his dad. When his dad left him. You know that scene.
Fresh Prince, yeah.
But there's also one episode in the Community where the main character's dad left him too, and they had a moment of reconciliation, and then the dad said the most ridiculous phrase in the world, and he said that, well, if you think about it, if I didn't leave you, you wouldn't be like that. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
And it was so ridiculous. And he's like, and it's basically, that's what it's that's what it feels like between the Vera and the Nakoma, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I didn't capture you, you wouldn't be in this position.
I wouldn't have to hope the best for you.
Right, exactly. It was ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like if you go to Vera's point of view, it's like we wouldn't be in this position if you didn't capture us, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and you wouldn't have to hope for anything. But yeah,
and then what's his? I think it was later on. Vincent said something to just put into perspective. You guys been behind the wall for too long, but if you were on this side, you wouldn't know what we have to go through to. Do you remember that line?
Yeah, where he was basically saying like he was kind of saying what we've been saying, like the Guardians are spoiled, like they've been behind the wall so long that they don't realize how hard it is for everybody else.
Yeah.
And what everybody else has to go through, and even Dot, like she's like Dot, like
like
Dot's probably been through the worst of it.
Oh man,
right?
After hearing her backstory, I can only imagine.
Yeah,
like the only survivor from the City of Lost Souls.
Yep,
like the only.
Yeah. And it gives us the whole perspective, the Nick perspective of, because it never happened before. You know, we've always hated Colonel Sanders, Colonel Kemet.
There it is.
Yeah, Kemet. We've hated Kemet. We've hated CJ. We've hated a lot of people because they won't let Tanya do the examination in the, you know, in the whatever it is. It can be in the fort or anywhere. We've always hated it. It's like just let Tanya do it.
Couldn't do it at the colony.
Exactly. It's like just let her do it. She's smart. You know, she's gonna find out all the cure.
Right.
And then something happened to this.
They finally pointed out why it's always been
and
so
Nick
strict.
said that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this is why, because of that.
Fort Bragg, the best of the best, all trapped.
Mm-hmm.
So
From
it was so
out.
fortified for both sides.
Yep.
So they must have turned from the end.
Yeah. So one got in because they didn't know yet, or even
they tested one of them, and it got bit and then turned and things like that. You know.
And then it turned everybody because there was no way out.
Right.
And then so because of that, all the military before cutting connections had those harsh rules, restrictions. They're like black and white, no in betweens. Don't do this. If there's a chance of infection, get out.
Yeah.
Like don't do it.
Yeah.
So from the previous episode, we are all wrong for thinking that Dot is younger than all of them. Because Dot is definitely older than all of them, except for Vincent. But we know she's older than Vera, Lisa, and Nick.
It's just her voice makes her sound like she's a little small kid.
So yeah, I was thinking she was either around the same age or she was going to be more Nakoma's age. It was one of the two.
Well, because if it's 18 years, right? If it happened 18 years ago,
so she's probably like 20.
She's
there's
probably
no way like she survived when she was 2. You know what I mean? Like 5 or 6 maybe, but not like 2.
So she might be like 25 or something like that.
Right.
So
wait,
7-ish.
No, hold on. You might be right by 2, because when do you learn? You know, start talking. You'll be like around 4 or 5, right? But not 2 years old.
But now we know like she at least like knew
some words.
She knew some words.
Yeah.
And she like learned the words, she just can't say them anymore.
So where does she get Dot from?
Oh, I guess she understands the words.
Yeah, because she knows what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, that's true.
And like at that point it would be like if she never learned English, if she never learned how to talk, it'd be like very rough with her communication. She'd be like, can you like repeat that kind of like motions and stuff like that? But they're like, do you say anything else? Dot, like she knows, and she's replying with what she thinks are like might be like very clear, decisive things. But like after a while she learned like, no, I'm not. But being alone, she never had to talk.
Dang.
And I know I mentioned this before, Casey, from our previous podcast. Putting a character like Dot in Descendants is so well done. Like it makes sense to have a character like Dot in Apocalypse, like, you know, in that scenario. But thinking about putting a character like that so unique and it's just I am Groot kind of moment is so like well done. It's well done because now it's a complete mystery, right? Like where we know where she came from. How did she learn the word Dot and like just
why
learn
is
Dot?
it
Yeah, is there more of her that just talk about like just say Dot constantly?
Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah, like, was Dot a nickname for her that her parents gave? Was Dot...
Yeah.
Like, was Dot how somebody died?
Right.
It makes sense why...
Or a tribe just talk... That just, speak Dot language. You know what I mean?
And one of the other things that how she survived that long is what kept her alive. What did she eat? I mean, how they described her is like she was skinny and scrawny. It's like she must have been malnourished the whole...
Well, if she was on a military base eating by herself, she could have just been eating MREs.
I have a theory.
Oh, that's true.
I have a theory. I love Demon Slayer. And there's the one character in Demon Slayer that his abilities eat demons. What if Dot eats zombies or infected? Does not get affected?
That would be interesting.
That would be really interesting.
That would also explain the knife.
Left.
Huh? That would also explain the knife.
That will explain the knife for sure.
I think she's more along the lines of being similar to maybe not being his daughter, but being like Skittles in the sense of like they ignore him a little bit more because he's got that odor that protects him a little bit more.
Right.
So she might have a more drastic version of that to where maybe zombies can't smell her at all. Yeah. So until they actually like see her, she's completely in the clear.
The reason for that theory for me is
that'd be good though.
But this is my theory about it adds on to that theory. Because her fighting skill is grappling, and she's really good in grappling. And number one rule in fighting zombies, you don't grapple them.
Right.
You only use the grapple against humans, right? So what if she grapples the infected and bite them and eat them and kill them from there? You know what I mean?
When she bites him and turns him back, but she always goes for the neck, so they always die before they can go back.
Yeah. We just referenced 2 Will Smith movies in this episode.
Oh man,
Fresh Prince and I Am Legend.
I Am Legend.
But yeah, like that was my working theory about Dot. What if she survived by eating zombies?
Really cool.
You know what I mean? Like that's her ability. She just eats zombies and that doesn't like she's a more hybrid Nick.
Yeah,
soul,
right.
You know what I mean?
Like it's like the next step of them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
like
that'd be
the
crazy.
Complete
or
evolution.
Like, what if, like, it could be she could be a different evolution of Ink.
Yeah,
maybe she did turn.
Oh,
and she's actually a zombie.
But she has a complete human form.
But like, yeah, and her trauma is what's making her say Dot. Like, what if it's something like that? Like, there's so many different areas.
I want the eating zombie theory. That's like,
yeah, no, that would actually be a lot more interesting.
Right.
That would be the thing. Like, if she was turned, she could just be attacking the dead and feeding off because we know the dead eat each other.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So while they were talking to the boar, boar and Nakoma left. They worked together because she invited Nakoma in the
whatever suite.
Yeah, that suite area. And Will showed up. Right.
Yep, and that's where they confirmed it's legit. Doing a blood test is so they can help and fix you up later.
All you have to do is get through that door. It does not matter how beat up, how bruised, how bloody you are.
As long as you're not infected.
As long as you're not infected and you get through that door, they will fix you.
Yep.
They will do everything in their power to fix you. That is their one promise. And I'm like, that's actually really cool.
And it makes sense because in apocalypse like that, you have to find the best of the best, you know? Like, that's why they have the best Coliseum, because they have the best architect and engineers and things like that, you know, and construction workers and all of that. And now they have the best doctors, you know?
Yeah, and, like, for me, I connect a lot of things to, like, D&D and stuff like that. And so, like, in this, like, my mind just puts, like, okay, so this place is, like, the perfect definition of lawful evil. Yeah. Morally very twisted from what we've seen, very much, like, your classic good moral person would be like, stay away from that. Yeah. But they are so law abiding by their code and by their law that they're like, no matter what, it does not matter if you are the most disliked person in the Coliseum or on the planet even. Yeah. You make it through that door, you win, and we will make sure you live to see a win. Right. Like, that is really cool because also, I mean, that's just really good incentive. It's like, if we have to fight with everything we've got, we're guaranteed another day as long as we get through there. Right. Dang near guaranteed. Yeah. Because I think they said they've only lost one person who got out
Oh.
And that like bled out as soon as he got through the door. They lost one.
Yeah.
So it's like good. That's...
And this was like, what, 2000? 2013, 15? I don't know. It's
like so how many
fights? Holy smokes. And it wasn't like an annual fight. It was like one fight to another fight to another fight, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Based on this
it would have to be like almost at least a fight a day,
right?
Because a fight a day is 365 a year, 366.
Yeah.
And if they're in 2000, they've been doing this for a few years.
Dude, seriously.
Oh man.
Yeah. And right now they have 3 fights going at once.
Yeah, and there's no way she built that place in like, you know, in like
overnight or
no, like during the day. You know, the D-Day, you know.
Oh no, they did it a few years in.
Right, exactly.
So they probably did it like 10 years in. They had everything getting built, and then they probably had the game set up for the last 2 to 3 years.
Right. You know, 5 years the most. But having 2,000 fights is a lot, you know?
And just being able to have consistent people for that many fights.
Right?
Like, holy crap. Seriously. Trapper's working.
It's probably not really important, but I'm still tripping. Like, I thought they already used to camping outside. How come they're using the hotel?
Because they're giving everyone that MVP, and it's also... If people know that they're gonna have that, like that security, that hotel, that good life, that past life, even they get to escape from the hell that they're in, and they get to enjoy all this stuff. That's a good incentive to make people come check it out.
Seriously, yeah. And it's. I mean, you think about it. Like I said, they have the best architects and the best engineers in the whole, you know, the whole West Coast, and they built hotels and hotels.
So know? Prim is still somewhat of a humane a humane world, like this little piece of old world still exists.
Yeah, it's it seems like a little piece of like ancient Rome.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see why people want to go to Prim, just to have that little taste of.
I can also see
life.
like people building new things. You know, like building new hotels and forts and, you know, areas. Because that Coliseum's got to be new. You know,
yes,
has
they
to be
definitely built.
It might have started off like a few like big casinos or something like that, and then they just shaped them.
Big.
Right.
They're like, all right, well, let's take off the roof here, and we'll turn this into this and this into that.
That building connected to that building. You know,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They connected each other. Because I've been to Vegas twice, and I'm trying to think.
Oh.
Okay, the first time around wasn't.
We know why he went to Vegas.
It was for work purposes. Work purposes. Yeah, I'm trying to picture out like it's so open, and I'm trying to think what building could have been connected, or what could they have built. I mean, Vegas itself is just enormous.
Yeah. And just make all those like skyways or something like
that.
Right.
So, hold on. So before were you gonna say something?
Nope, go for it.
Before Nakoma left, she made a phenomenal phrase there, like "May the force be with you" kind of thing.
It was a Native American
made the wind
be well kind of thing.
Yeah, may the wind be something in your roof.
Your roof.
I need to know that. I should have wrote it down. That actually reminds me of Frozen 2. You know, because it's the whole tribal thing too, and it reminds me of that. When she said that, and the Nakoma, like what we talked about in the.
So she said, "May the warm winds of heaven blow softly upon you."
Yeah,
there you go.
Or upon your house.
Upon your house. That's right. There you go. And from the first or second episode, I said that Nakoma is a Native American name. So she is a Native American. We
confirmed.
Not confirmed, but
I mean,
more likely.
But they even say like Aborigines.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's like
a
90% at that point.
Right.
Because they say Aborigines about her like a couple minutes later.
Yeah. do you think that was taught in West sports history?
Probably.
About the old world and Native Americans.
Even if it wasn't taught in their history, it's in their movies. They watch a lot of old westerns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of Aborigines in those.
Yeah.
I would assume they did.
And so, let's see. One thing I thought that was really cool that goes along with the you get through the door, you're like golden kind of thing. It was how strict they were about the needles.
Yeah. I was thinking
He
the same
said,
thing.
we do not rig he's like,
games?
we don't rig it I don't let them. He said, and then right before leaving, he said, make sure they're sterilized. And it's like, it wasn't really like a, hey, like, do your job. It was a threat.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a time when someone either rigged a game or they didn't use a clean needle and somebody got an infection.
Right.
And so, like, he seemed murderously intent on making sure that they were sterile needles.
Right. I think he's just being Walrus. Right. Me and Walrus we all picture he's scary.
Yeah, but like,
but
like,
I get what you mean.
Yeah, like with a lot of it, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm being intense, but it was like, no, he was like, don't mess this up. Right. And part of it is probably because of who they are.
Yeah.
Because they're Guardians and they're like, we're not taking any chances playing any games with these guys.
Yep.
They are the MVPs right now. They are going to be the ones that are going to give us our best show yet.
Yeah. At first when we entered Prim, it gave me a Mad Max Fury Road kind of setting, the Prim. But as soon as Walrus said make sure it's sterilized, it's definitely not like that. They might be. All these people might be crazy and they might be like a Mad Max Fury Road kind of type of people, but the area is like well maintained because they have the best of the best.
Like an oasis,
right? Yeah, Oasis, but not for people. Oasis maybe for infected.
Oasis for for everyone that they choose.
Yeah.
For all of their guests and for their residents,
for the clients. Yeah,
but not for their game.
Not for the game.
And I will say after Will walked away, then they started doing the shots.
Yeah.
Then Alex walked away. I liked this because this was kind of a... We talked about this. We talked about Alex having kind of a real moment before.
Yeah.
And he kind of got to have another one right here. He actually had that, like... He said to
Nick?
He said to Nick, like, hey, like, go kick it. Like,
give him hell.
Like, win.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, yeah, you're rooting for your own team, blah, blah, blah. But he was really saying, like, hey, like, don't die.
Yeah, the way they talk...
I still need somebody to fight.
Right. Like, the way they talk is like they were best friends, Like,
they
this
had
is my
that
best
respect.
pro. Yeah. Both of them together. And that was the very first time we heard that or encountered that between Nick and Alex. Every time they're together, they're fighting, they're about to, like, their head off.
It's a lip here, lip there.
Yeah.
But right here, they were on the same page. They're like, win, come back.
Yeah.
Like, it was that friendly... It suddenly, like, for that quick moment, was that friendly rivalry and not just like, you suck, we got in a fight, we got in a lot of trouble. And
I mean, because I can definitely see Alex saying, hey, you better survive this because I should be the one kicking your butt or killing you,
Yeah,
like, I can see that
aggressive
but
take.
it didn't, it wasn't like that. It's like,
it was 100% flat terms, like they were together. They were like
we're on the same
our
page
thoughts
now.
are on the same page. Yes. But like he could have been like, you better not lose here. Done.
Right.
Because that's the aggression. That's the hey, like if anyone's taking you out, it's gonna be me, or like you're not gonna die on my watch, or like the aggressive side. He wasn't aggressive. He was like, hey, win for us.
Right.
Win.
Right. One thing, let me go back real quick. Two things during that Will scene. I find it annoying that Walrus had to warn Will like 3 or 4 times.
To get out.
Like just to get out, or I will, like leave. You're not supposed to be here. It's like there's so many. Like,
what are you doing here, man?
I feel like that almost highlights what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
When Will was first brought up, because like it seems like he has some kind of connection there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, what if he is somebody's kid?
Yeah. Now it brings me back with that statement that you said. He said that Prim and him are buddies, and they're both from camps.
You mean Dot?
Dot. Sorry, Dot.
Yeah.
Prim, I said Prim. Yeah, Dot and him.
They were in camps
together. I'm like, now it makes me question, like, who the heck is Dot, and what is she doing there? And then why is Dot and Will together in a camp? But Will was born in there. Like, what is this camp?
Well, so the camps could have just been the slave camps or the worker camps. That's kind of what I thought of it as. Like, it was like,
so they were together, but they're not together. They're not both. Because Will said they're both captured, right?
Yes, because Will's from the beginning has been saying that he's basically a prisoner as well. He's a slave as well, but it's not saying necessarily that he's just a slave. He gets a lot more privileges than a lot of the other
or he might be
workers.
working where the camp where Dot is in camp.
Exactly. Well, like he could have been doing exactly what he's doing now, like that maintenance kind of field at the camp, and so it erases that suspicion of like this dude's not the same because he's working just like me. It's literally the you work just like me. We're on the same side.
Right.
When it's like, yeah, I'm cleaning for you so I can go back home and enjoy my TV. Like,
but you get to stay here.
This part when Will came in, I got mixed emotions because I had a strong belief that Will was like playing like
a traitor kind of thing.
Yeah. Like he was trying to play the devil's card and like I'm a good guy in front of y'all, but in the back I'm messing.
Yeah, I work for the boar.
I've got mixed feelings about that because I feel like he genuinely really likes Lisa.
Yeah, and so he only greeted Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Every time he's like, "Hope you see you again, Lisa," and like. And the rest of you guys, like, make sure you get out. Like, very
make sure
much like that.
Lisa alive.
Which is so weird because Lisa's the only one freaking out.
I know.
I know. I'm like,
and like, I can picture Lisa just ignoring him. Like, I don't even care about you. Like, stop saying hi to me.
I don't want to die.
I'm about to die.
Oh man. And then that moment where I guess I had a two pictured moment with Dot and Will. Because I think there was a scene where it seemed like they hugged each other while the walrus
they definitely hugged each other.
Yeah, but I felt that because Dot said a whisper like Dot, so my is either she had like a happy moment, was like it's good to see you again, or Will said something to her in the ear and Dot's like
she acknowledged it.
Yeah, like Will may have given her something.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Dots.
Yeah, I was like, because she said Dot.
A period.
Dot. She said Dot quietly. I'm like, what did Will do? Either Will said something, or she just had a moment like Dot. Don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that reconnection moment.
Yeah.
Or she said, I love you. I love you.
So,
Dot.
So after this, they all go in, and they get separated 2 by 2.
Yep.
Each one goes into their waiting room, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They get to look in their cabinets.
Yep. Hold on. So you have this conversation with it's not that important. I just want to acknowledge it. When Lisa's freaking out and things like that, and Nick said, "Just follow Lisa. You know she's smart."
Vera.
Oh, Vera. Yeah. So yeah. What did I say?
Lisa.
Follow Lisa.
Yeah. Follow Lisa. Yeah.
Lisa,
just
don't
follow
do that.
Vera.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
For the love of all that's
just follow.
money, don't do that.
Just follow Vera. You know she's smart.
Whoa.
And then when Vera said, "So I was thinking," and then Nick said, "As you always do."
As you always do, pulling out his jokes.
Yeah.
Was what she was saying? Was it something that she was gonna say before? Because she said,
"Oh, when he stopped her."
Yeah, it's like what? Like he knew that something was wrong. This is how I pictured that scene. Because Vera said, "I have something like weighing on me, but I want to carry it."
Yeah. And then like he stopped her.
Yeah. Do you think it was just something she wanted to finally, confess?
Yeah, I think it was. She was trying to confess, but was trying not to confess because of timing. But
and also it's
wanted to because of timing.
And also it's like, just imagine telling someone's boyfriend in front of your girlfriend that's your teammate about this you're feeling, and you guys are not gonna work together.
Yeah,
exactly. They would spend the whole time bickering and being at odds with each other. Like Vera would be like trying to work on it, but it would be awkward from her because she's like, "Yeah, I just did that."
Yeah.
But then Lisa would have been like,
"She's trying to kill me."
Right. I'll push you into zombies.
Like one of us gonna die.
I'm about to push you off a cliff.
Right? Like all I have to do is outrun you. That's it. Yeah. All right. So they got all separated. Go ahead.
All right. So they got split off 2 by 2.
Yep.
And first off was Nick and Vincent into Winter Wonderland.
Yep.
And I was so happy with the gun choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick finally got his M16, the weapon that he's the most trained on.
Mm-hmm. Is that like a
rifle?
saw? It's like a saw kind of way. It's because no, saw is the saw, right? Not M16.
Correct.
It's the saw. That's his
weapon.
That's right.
The gun that he really enjoys was the saw.
Yep. That's right.
M16 was Angel and Michael primarily.
That's right.
That was like their go-tos, except for when Michael had the broken arm.
Yeah.
In which case he went between the M16 and the suppressed pistol.
Yep. Yep.
So M16, because I'm not familiar with weapons. It's a rifle, right?
Yeah, it's it's like the standard issue rifle.
Yeah. It kind of looks like an AR, but it's really not. Okay. I mean, it's more powerful than AR for sure. Like M16, a civilian cannot have an M16.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, and then that definitely looks like a game gun.
Yeah. Because we're not getting hold of one.
Right. No,
so
that definitely not.
Vincent's really impressed me. I got really excited about that.
Right?
A retractable spear.
Dude, I was like,
seriously?
what?
That
what in the world?
I can already see it. He's going to shoot, either miss or he's going to get flanked, or there's just going to be another one or something like that, and Nick's going to pull off a shot to save him. I already see it coming because he got a really cool weapon, but a really unique niche rough weapon at the same time.
Yeah.
It just makes me think of his origin after. I mean, I know he's a nomad kind of thing. Like he's a what do you call them? Those nomad shoppers or sellers?
Merchant.
Yeah, he's like a merchant peddler.
D&D player right here.
Yeah, he's like a peddler, but then at the same time, it's like he has a retractable spear. Isn't that something that you like not a harpoon?
Harpoon.
Yeah, harpoon.
Harpoon,
yeah.
like
it reminded me something similar to that. Like I feel like it's gonna be a spear, but it might have like a tube around it or something like that. That you click a button on the tube and it shoots it out, and it's gonna have a chain equipped to it to where either it's going to be one of those things where he's going to like reel it in from something on the hilt, or it's going to slowly reel itself back in by pressing another button. Like that's kind of what I'm picturing.
Yeah. I'm picturing more like something with a spring underneath it. So you press the button and then you would like shoot and then back, you know? Like that's how I pictured it. Like you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you like instead of stabbing someone, you just put it close to them and then hit that button like. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know how would that be important, and I don't know how is that gonna work for their enemies. But I don't know. That's how I just
retractable spear.
Retractable, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really like this choice of weapon. Made me think,
and they are in the Winter Wonderland, which is they're fighting the dude that's throwing icy bones. You know?
Yeah. Yes. So that's gonna be a real interesting because those two things could have very similar.
Yeah. Like I can picture the retractable, like what you said. I think that's more of like that. What you know?
And I don't think it's gonna go like 30 feet. Yeah. I think it's gonna go like 5-10 feet past like the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a slightly heavier weapon that's gonna.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, it just reminded me because we were talking about weapons. When Will said, "I gotta go and fix the Modagun" or something like that.
Reconstruct
the new Modagun.
Yeah. Did you notice how Walrus right away cut him off? It's like, nope. You know, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a secret that he's not telling the whole group of what's happening. Like this is a secret kind of thing. It's either they're using it against Westport or something.
Yeah, something like that. They're trying to remake the Modaguns because as of right now, only Westport has Modaguns.
Yep.
Assuming. Yeah. But they're trying to make it so that way they can remake Modaguns.
Yeah. And from that day on, from the start, you know, Boar's always been interested with the Modagun.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole deal between her and Nakoma. Like, do you have the Modagun? Is it working? Nope. Well, it's gonna be, you know, a lot cheaper. It's not gonna be expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting to me how Walrus just cut him off right away. Like, don't say anything else.
He's like, all right, now you really do have to go.
Right? Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. So from that group, where are we going?
Heartland with Lisa and Vera. Vera, no surprise there. We already knew that from the moment that we saw that she got to pick any weapon or bring one. We knew it was going to be the katana.
Yep.
I'm very excited because it really does sound like it is her mom's katana.
Yeah, it does.
It really sounds like that. So, I am so excited about it.
Yeah.
And then Lisa's kind of left me wanting more, but it made perfect sense. She got a pistol.
Yeah. That's like a Peg's move, you know?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. So like I wanted more because they had the most variety. They got to pick any weapon they wanted.
Right,
Any weapon from any cage.
Right.
So they had the most variety. So like seeing her with an M16 would have been really nice there.
Yeah.
But with her, she seems very sheepish, very scared and all that. So the pistol does fit the most.
Dude,
I just don't know how she passed military.
No, but also it's like, dude, they're fighting Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
And you have a pistol?
Exactly. That's why I was...
That was weird. Really
Her
weird.
choice. Yeah, it's just...
Man,
she probably wasn't thinking about it in the moment because she was so scared.
Right.
Lisa just gives me all bad
We just
vibes.
know for sure Casey Whelan has so much plan for this too. Putting Vera and Lisa together with Buffalo Bill. Like, he didn't put Buffalo Bill with, Nick or...
Buffalo Bill's not even going to show up.
No.
But putting both of those people, and then I bet you Vera's gonna tell Lisa during that fight that she likes Nick. Like, she's gonna say something between the lines
in
of
the middle of it.
Yeah, it's something between the lines of, you don't deserve Nick, I deserve Nick. Something like that, and that will.
Is gonna be that little heated moment,
Right?
And then they're gonna like be at odds for a second, and then Buffalo Bill's gonna show up, and they're gonna be back on the same side for a moment.
Yeah, like that's I can picture that happening. And then we go to
the coolest combination.
Yes.
the Alex and Dot.
Alex and Dot. They have 2 pre-selected weapons.
Yep.
So they did not get to choose. They were the only ones that did not get an option. They got a dagger and a crossbow. Mm-hmm. Dot went with the dagger. She was excited about it.
Yep.
Alex got the crossbow, which fits because I think he's gonna be the better shot once he gets a couple shots with it. He's gonna be the better shot, but he's gonna get caught reloading at some point.
Yep.
And that's where Dot's gonna come in and do a big power move. Now, I think it was cool that they also informed that everybody gets a selected bag of stuff.
Yeah.
If that's fitted for their environment.
They get basic clothing for whatever environment they're in. So, coats, shorts, possible climbing gear.
Yeah.
Like, not like gear, but like maybe climbing shoes or like stuff that makes sense for their predetermined areas. 1 ration of food, meaning that it very well could last, a 10-hour fight.
Yeah.
But they're like, but you better move because that's all you get. And then 1 weapon based on the audience's votes. That's the thing that's going to interest me the most because I feel like those weapons are going to come in very, very clutch because it's going to be like, okay, this is all we have. This is all we have. Wait a minute, we have this.
That's such a Hunger Game move.
And it could be it could be a freaking knife. It could be a pistol. It could be,
or it could be healing.
Cotton
candy. It could be a sword. It could be a torch. Like it can be anything. Man. So it's like when those weapons, and I wonder if it's going to be the same weapon for all of them or if it's going to be 3 different voted weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested in seeing that.
It could be a Molotov cocktail,
All right, people.
Pipe up.
Right.
All you fans and audience better give them a good
for sure.
It's gonna be. They're all gonna be Bill's sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of shotgun and Bill, I might be reaching this. I might be just connecting something out of nothing. But based off those choice of weapons, it reminds me of the OG story of survival and how all of these weapons connect to.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. So you have the dagger, and we know Saul used the knife.
Saul with the knife.
Saul the knife. CJ with the katana. Right. M16 Angel and Michael.
Yep.
Pistol with Pegs. And crossbow with Riley
with the whole bow and arrow.
The bow and arrow.
Yep.
Archery.
So the only retractable weapon, I was gonna picture as Datu, but Datu doesn't really have
the Matagun.
Well, besides the Matagun.
You want to know what I actually thought of for the spear? The hockey stick from Angel.
Oh yeah,
The hockey stick from
Angel when they were at the arena.
Right.
That's what I thought of for that.
Yeah.
Nice one. I completely forgot about the hockey stick.
Yeah. But that whole weapon of choices and how Casey put that in there, I don't know if that was he thinking, but I was.
It had that symbol. I mean, I thought the same thing.
Right. All the nods from the weapon choices.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
Nice.
Right. I know.
So.
Okay, good.
From there, everybody started going into their respective rooms. Vincent said, better get dressed. It's going to be chilly.
Yeah.
Lisa and Vera, I can't remember if
I thought they said that right away already.
Yeah.
Someone said that.
Like they didn't really like have much else.
Like someone else was chasing them, right? That's what I said. Like, already?
There's already a zombie.
Yeah, someone's chasing them. Like, already?
Yeah. And then
doesn't that whole thing gives you the vibe of what happened in the last part of the episode? We don't have to talk about it. It's okay. it's an important part of the episode. But go ahead. Sorry.
And then the last one was the best one, Dot and Alex. And he's like, man, this sucks. Like, I can barely doggy paddle. And like, he's like, I'm not doing it. Like, I can't. Like, I'm not doing it. And Dot. And she's like, And he's like,
what?
Huh?
What did you say?
He's like, well, if you're trying, I'm trying. And it just goes. I was like,
that was awesome.
Bro, that suddenly made my favorite pair. Like, I already knew I was going to like the pair. But that made it by far my favorite pair.
Yeah.
Launched Dot up as by far my favorite character. And it's like, dude, it was just better and better and better.
Nice.
I think people are, based on this this whole thing, chapter, from chapter 1 to chapter 5, I think we like Alex more than Nick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like, Alex has been showing so much good things compared to Nick.
Well, and it's because we've been seeing depth and development from Alex, as to where Nick, it's been the same thing, except for that one part when he's like, well, I have to talk, like I have to make jokes. It's how I cope. Like, other than that moment, he's been the loose cannon version of Saul with the spoiled everything of Angel.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's been both of their worst qualities.
Yeah. And none of Lizzie.
Well, except for the one moment when he got real.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, there it is. Like, there's that little lingering hope of like this character becoming something we love.
When he was doing the whole therapy thing to Vera, you know, and encouraging her and things like that. Yeah. We saw that little bit of Lizzie. But yeah, man, Nick, dude, I actually don't mind Nick.
I don't dislike him.
I know.
At all.
I'm excited for him. Not as much as people from Facebook fan page. They hated Nick. I'm like, I don't. Like, it makes sense how he reacts. He's like kind of like a celebrity in Westport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense why he's acting like that.
Well, yeah. Like, think of like Dylan or Cole Sprouse. Like, let's go with Cole Sprouse. Like, from his literal childhood, celebrity. Now, like 28 years old, celebrity.
Yeah.
So imagine that, but never having to work for that position and still having it.
Yeah.
He's not saying he never worked, but he had never had to work for that position.
Right.
He put in a lot of work because he had the position, but he never worked for that position.
And parents are just throwing their kids, you know, all over him. He might have, it's not confirmed yet, he might have gained the blood from Saul and Tanya. It's not confirmed yet, we don't know that yet, but he might have had it. So he's like super privileged.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
From there it went into the conversation with the boar and Nakoma,
and also Walrus.
Walrus was up there too.
Yeah.
That was kind of a hard conversation to hear because it was so much of Nakoma trying to like ball up and shield herself.
Yep.
The whole conversation was just her being like, nope, I'm done. Nope, don't care. Bye. Nope.
Yeah, she was trying to get out.
And so like,
wait, who do you guys think captured Dot?
I could very well see it still being Nakoma,
right? Yeah, with the dart.
Yeah, because like that's like their best odds. She left at some point. She left the City of Lost Souls, and like she got found.
Yeah.
Could have been anything else, but that's kind of. I think that all of these people right now that are in there were caught by Nakoma.
Yeah,
that's my thought to it.
Or at least the team that she has.
Like the six. That's what I mean. The six. Yeah. All the people that are currently being watched on Descendants, all six of them were caught by her.
Yep.
She was Nakoma had a kind of a crazy start. She got paid. She got paid in
multiple different
currencies.
Yep.
Totaling whatever her total was supposed to be. And then she said, the boar asked, "What are you gonna do with the money?" I'm gonna leave and go somewhere where I want to go. It's like, okay, so immediately hearing that, the boar already had in mind of offering Nekoma a name.
Yeah.
So that alone, that was pretty crazy, because it's like, okay, so you're being offered an animal name, so you're going to be in a position like Walrus. Walrus is like, he's almighty almost. He has so much power, so much influence, so much everything.
Yeah.
That he never has to worry another day in his life. She would have to keep capturing people, but that's it.
Yeah.
And because they're using her poison, she probably would have to go out less than she is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she'd go out like maybe once every 3 missions kind of thing.
And training other trappers or
exactly.
Stuff like that.
But like she'd have the life of luxury almost.
What will be her name?
Cat.
Really?
I don't know.
Katniss.
Yeah.
I say it's Nekoma, so I just think of Neko.
Yeah,
Neko.
Neko's a cat. Just cat.
Cat.
Yeah. I was gonna go for because it's Native American, like either the eagle or the deer, because when we play something like that,
I was trying to figure that out.
You know what I mean?
The Falcon.
Yeah. The Falcon.
and then Puck will show up. Out Falcon standing.
Yeah.
Falcon standing.
Which, by the way, Casey, where is Puck? Like,
yo, he is hiding away on a beach, loving life
with his girl.
With his girl. Her name will be like a Padfoot kind of thing, which is so related and connected to Native Americans, like a rabbit. That's her name, the rabbit.
Hey, where's the rabbit at?
Okay. One thing that was big with this, with like her being in denial.
Yeah.
She was like, every time that they would say her friends, she would be like, "Not my friends.
Not my friends.
Nope. Doesn't care." But she doesn't want to be there when they get out.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that she doesn't want to be there when they get out. She doesn't want to be there if they die.
Yep.
Because she wants them out. She would probably love to see them get out, but she doesn't want to be there if they die.
Yep.
Damn.
Hence, it's explained her reaction in that last
moment
of that episode.
Right before that, one of the last things that Nekoma says is the boar has a large amount of friends.
Yeah.
And a large amount of influence. So it's like, bro, like that screams family.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
That screams family, because she said you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
And it's like, and I'm like, dude, she's talking like Scratch. She's saying a lot of things that remind me, like, literally, if it wasn't for the voice, I would think this was Scratch.
Yeah. I don't think so. Like,
but what I mean is just,
I totally get what you're saying, but I don't think it's Scratch. It's more like
No.
He's not saying it's Scratch.
I'm saying if it wasn't for us hearing the boar's voice, I would think it's Scratch.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the mannerisms, like, it seems like a mature Scratch.
Yeah.
Because when Scratch wasn't unhinged and she was being methodical and planning, and like she has that cockiness. She has that power.
Yep.
She has that authority that Durai had and Scratch had. She has that professionalism that we see Angel have throughout. She has a lot of those undertones that Jeremy has. So it's like she reminds me of like all the family characters, and with Jeremy we hear connections. With Durai we hear connections. With Scratch we hear connections. And that's like one of the biggest influencing parts of the family.
Oh man, that's
I think
nice catch.
she's more of the Scratch and Latch's mom. Like that, she's their parent.
I don't think she's gonna have any direct relations to them,
or one of the founders of the family, like to have that power and position. You know what I mean?
Like then she just kind of reminds me of Big Mama,
like higher than Durai, Big Mama, higher than Durai kind of thing. It's definitely not Gloria, even though that theory is awesome.
I love that theory.
I love that theory, but it's not Gloria.
What if it's Mrs. Tenuto?
Mrs. Tenuto.
No, that would be a flip,
right?
Oh, man.
I know, dude. Or Durai's wife.
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
I'm just waiting. Like I'm still just waiting for that family connection because
Yeah, man.
It's gotta be.
They're
has
hinting
to be.
so many different
Now that I hear it,
angles,
Ooh.
and we've been thinking like. With them coming to Prim, we were like, the family's gonna have something to do here.
Yeah.
The family's gonna have something to do here. This is the perfect setup for a family member.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the family has the connection here. Well, the family also has the connection in the Republic's like office. So that way they would have control of the underworld and the overworld. They have
It might be in the
this here,
alliance
this
too.
there.
You know?
Yeah, they might have
Right.
someone in the alliance, so that way they can keep tabs.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They could have someone in Westport. I don't think so, but that would also kind of connect with what has been said a couple episodes ago, where they're
This is
like,
exciting.
you wouldn't believe
Oh, my goodness.
who would come here from where.
Right. They
Because
might
it's
be
like
your neighbors.
Yeah, so it's like that. The connection there could be like, you wouldn't believe who in the family is like a leader there.
I mean, because
man.
see, they Casey has been hinting the family, like I almost said Gloria, the boar connection to the family so much that Loki, I'm gonna be disappointed if she's not part of the family. Like
At
it turned
least
out
some
she's not
connection.
part. No,
Like,
or,
even if she works for the family.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'll be very disappointed.
Do you think if it's true that she like it's hinting that she's part of the family, do you think when they find out that Vera has some connection, she's gonna have a bad trip, or like she's gonna realize, oh, I screwed up, she's part of the family kind of thing?
I think, well, I don't think it'll be that. But I do think like they'll find out after she wins. And I do think it's going to be very much a privilege moment. Like now that she's gone through this, one, she's proven herself as a fighter, and we now know she's a family member.
Yeah.
Now we're going to try and sway her to us and just talk like, and they're, from what we've seen, most of the family is one way or another is very charismatic, and they're just going to try using their talk and their wit to just be like kind of that smooth her over.
And I noticed too, when Walrus were introducing all of them, did you guys notice they only named one person in the whole group, which is just Dot, even though they know their names, you know, at least the first name. When he introduced all of them, he just said Guardians of the Westport, you know.
Yes.
And then Dot. I think he mentioned Vincent too, didn't he?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, he said the Wanderer, the Lone Wanderer, or something like that.
Picked up from the street.
But he didn't mention Nick, especially Vera, and I think that's intentional. That why he didn't mention Vera, because I feel like that there's so much people in the family there, and they know that Vera is part of the family, because Vera is an important character in Westport. You know, she's the daughter of CJ. So just by mentioning that, it might stop the whole game and things like that. You know, it's a I don't think it's intentional that he's not mentioning his name, her name, but it's intentional in the podcast. That's why he's not mentioning the name.
Right.
Yeah. Now I went back and forth in this quote from the conversation with Nakoma and Boar, when you know the quote. So because Boar was saying that this place wouldn't be like this if it wasn't for me. You know, I led this place and I built the empire. What was the quote?
And she
what did do you remember what Boar said?
So she says that like something along the lines of the empire
are built
on
the backs
of something I gotta look.
Yeah, she says like this empire was built by the hands of those I'm trying to protect, or something like that.
Right. And then what did Nakoma say?
Or by the hands of those who will rule or run it.
Yeah.
And then Nakoma says they collapse.
Yep.
Crumble
On
the backs of those who made it.
Yeah. That those two quotes, it's a complete nod of Story of Survival. The people that build that empire in the apartment building, right? It's the same people who made the apartment complex collapse. Because they pick a fight, the maulers and all that. Like, it's the complete nod from what she said, and they're both talking about and looking back to story survival. Same people who built that empire is the same people who collapsed the whole empire.
Yeah, and then it went right into the empire. That almost, you can almost say the empire that was the colony initially.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that too.
And then the colony collapsed itself. Shortly after it collapsed itself, they were overtaken.
Yep.
Man.
Because there was infighting, and the infighting was one of the leading causes for them being taken.
Right. Right.
Agreed.
Yeah. It was that quote is so powerful that it's just a huge nod from story survival. And looking back from the OGs, it's like it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And then where we at after that?
After that,
the important scene.
They
the
left
very
us
important scene. Yep. So what do we think? Yeah.
What? One already. One team's life scanners have gone completely out.
Yep. And then Nakoma freaked out. What? Because she was about to leave. She was about to walk out. She was
trying to get out before this.
Yeah. And then she said, "What?" And this is why we can tell that she really cares about
for
them.
these guys.
You know what I mean? It's like she freaked out. Like, because if she doesn't, she'd be like, "Yeah, I don't care. I got my money. I'm leaving." You know?
Right.
She's like, "What? What happened?" And what's your working theory? What's your guys' working theory? Someone died?
No.
Really? We're going with that?
I think it was either Alex and Dot. And it's going to be something along the lines of them using the water or sand.
Yeah.
So something maybe along that line, or they think, or it's going to be Nick and Vincent, where there's going to, like, they shot one and it, like, fell on them. And maybe Nick's blood got mixed in kind of situation. Like, it could be something along his lines. And either this is the one time I'll say it, and I'll think it could be possible that Vincent dies. I don't think so, but but
I hope so. I hope not. Sorry, I hope not.
Yeah. But like, I can see it happening.
Yeah.
And like, this would be the moment that would happen. Vincent died immediately, and Nick was bit. So they're like, "Oh, he's gone." Like, like maybe he got bit and knocked to the ground.
Yeah, or the whole chunk of it. Like, whoever bit him got the chunk of where the tracker is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it could be something like that. I hope that's not right, because I don't want Vincent to be gone.
And then turn out Walrus was just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, he just turned. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm kidding. It's not.
They're
still alive.
It's like there's like, they're just chanting because they killed a couple of them.
Right. The Casey's playing with our heads with he's making us think that it's Vera and Lisa that died because of what happened as soon as they entered the arena. It's like, already? And then we found out from the end of that episode, their lights, someone's light went out. It's like, oh, it's probably Vera and Lisa. And also they're the weakest team. As far, in comparison to the rest of them, they're like the weakest team. And by Casey putting two girls together instead of having, Vera and Nick together, or Vera and Lisa, Nick and Lisa, or Alex and Lisa and things like that. Like, he literally put two girls in one team, and one of them is freaking out. Well, the other one is, it's strong-willed, but
calm, cool, collected, and like the other one's all over the place.
Right, and knowing that, because this is Casey we're talking about, they both like one guy, and they put them together in one team. You know what I mean?
And we know what happened the last time. Two people liked one guy. The one who won, and the guy died.
Yeah. But just putting that whole thing is very interesting, and we know for sure the build up and the plot of this story is going to be very, very interesting. Putting a Dot character in there, putting the love triangle and two girls in one team, and then Vincent, which is an interesting guy, and Nick, who's a hard-headed, you know what I mean? And putting them together in one group and having those characters, the build up and the plot will be good.
I think that Vincent and Nick are the strongest team, because Vincent's the wild card.
Yep.
He's very confident. He seems like very well, like he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And Nick is the best shooter. He's probably one of the best shooters in Prem right now.
Yeah.
Like he's probably one of the best sharp shots in Prem.
Right.
And then Vera and Lisa are probably the weakest because Lisa's all over the place, and I think that if Vera tried making like a well thought out plan that had any kind of risk to it, she would crumble in it.
Yeah.
And then Vera would step out to try and correct it, and that could cause issues.
Yeah.
But then Alex and Dot, after that first moment, they like almost contend for that like strongest team because Dot is trying so hard to communicate because she knows that's all Alex wants or needs.
Yeah.
She's trying so hard to do that, and Alex is like, well, shoot, if you're doing it, then I'm all in.
Yeah.
So now he's all in, and he's probably like, it seems almost like he's like Nick's rival. Like, it's the Vegeta of the group. Like, the weaker rival.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean he's weak.
Right.
Yeah. Like, like, if I remember correctly, he led Lisa's squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means he was basically Vera's position.
Yeah. And he beat Nick in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. So it's like, he's not weak by all means.
Right.
He might not be as good of a shot. They might have worse weapons.
Yeah.
But Dot being that hidden superpower and Alex being capable and like he's at least got that motivation and that fire in his butt right now that he's moving.
Yeah.
That I can't call them weak. Like they can't be called a weak team right now.
Right. Right. No, I agree. But it's gonna be interesting. I know the arc of this story and the plot.
It's just getting good.
It's gonna be getting good for sure. Because nothing is working well for all of them, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything is just going sideways and wrong. And we haven't even started the whole fight. You know, we just entered it.
Bickering each other.
Right. And it's going to be really good. A lot of people are disappointed in the past 2 episodes of We're Alive based on the Facebook fan page. All I could say is, actually say what you told me earlier.
What? How? Like the? Okay. I know what you're talking about. So the reason why it's been so hard for a lot of people is a lot of people in the group haven't been, or it's been so long since they've had to wait for that week to week. There were several episodes at a time in Story of Survival that were exactly this. It was set up and build up for the eventual explosion event, but because the whole thing ended in 2014 or very, very early 2015. Like, because of that, we don't really remember the weight of like, oh, well, that was a slow episode. What am I going to do for the next 2 weeks now? Oh, that was another slow episode, and I got to wait another week or 2 weeks. Oh, that was another slow episode. Oh, my gosh, that was a big episode. We haven't had to have that wait in so long. That like we've kind of been spoiled in the fact that it's like, okay, we get to just binge the entire series now. There is no wait.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah. We're pro Casey, and this is not being sucked up. We're pro Casey on this one. And we understand. I'm a One Piece fan. If we're talking about filler episodes, this is nothing. And listen, the R&R episode in Story of Survival is a boring episode. But if we didn't have that, we wouldn't appreciate the war.
Yes.
Knowing what happened to them.
The whole thing was a quote unquote pointless party that led into a setup.
And not just the party. I'm talking about the meeting for the party. Yeah. That was boring. Like, what is the point of all that? You know what I mean? But not having that episode, you wouldn't appreciate the whole war. Yeah. The whole war scene, because now they're all ready and they're not drunk and all that. The war will just be like that. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be easy, but it's not as hard as what it is. What it was.
Yeah, and a lot of slow episodes are moving pieces that you can't see yet. Yeah. Because it's a 3D chessboard and you're playing 2D chess.
Yeah, WAKKA learned this recently because of hanging out with me. Don't don't watch or listen to. You don't watch movies or TV shows or listen to podcasts just by face value. You have to understand everything what's going on and get the important pieces from that, because that's gonna be helpful for you. You know, in the future episodes and what's gonna happen. And you're like, oh, that episode, that makes sense. Now I get it. You know, and there's so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious example I can give, he's literally been setting up the family since episode 1.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
Episode 1, part 1. The spoiled lieutenant.
Yeah.
The pretty little tall blonde boy that's a lieutenant, just got out of officer school. He's been setting up the families since that description.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for someone to be revealed, man.
And I mean, like, someone mentioned the mansion scene or the boat. Like, not having that boat scene, we wouldn't know if the infected can swim or not.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And like that gave us an idea that the infected can swim.
Yeah, it gave.
And that was the only scene out of all the story survival where we saw and witnessed a swimming infected. We've never seen it again.
Not just swimming, they swam from the island that was
just so far.
Because remember,
if they can swim like that, and let's say they don't suffocate,
and then don't die,
they can walk from Alaska to Japan, like,
just easy.
Yeah, they can.
I know, and it's just thinking about. I remember this in the beginning of Story Survival. Someone made an idea. How about we just ride on the boat? And now you have that boat scene, and it's pointless. That answered that question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not a pointless episode. You just have to look at the important stuff in that episode.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know,
Agreed.
you have to find out where that piece fits.
Right. And my favorite scene, or my favorite thing about that the boat episode and the mansion episode, is Kelly proving us all wrong.
Oh,
because
yeah.
let's admit, we expected Kelly leaving all of them.
Yep.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it was like, no, this is Kelly's definitely on our side.
That was the moment that
Yeah.
Kelly became a staple character.
Exactly.
Yep, agreed.
So it's not boring episode. Whatever boring episode you have, we have an explanation to that episode, and we can find a good nugget of information in that episode.
Yeah,
that's sure.
That's the biggest thing, is that there's no filler in this.
No, not at all.
There, like, every little thing so far, almost every little thing has been a huge development point.
Oh my gosh,
like,
bro. Like anime, like freaking One Piece. Remember that competition, the fight with the slow dude? That whole filler episode is pointless. It's so annoying, and they did it twice. But anyway, we're going away from We're Alive. But yeah, my
you don't
whole
like
point
the Foxy
is,
boxing?
Right, I hate it. I hate that whole episode
so much. Like the 7 episodes for each one.
So stupid. We didn't get any new information, like nothing. Anyway, so in this Descendants, from previous episode to this episode, we didn't know, we confirmed that Vera likes Nick from that episode alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless of that weird scene. But, you know, and then this episode with Nakoma and Boar, there's so much golden nuggets in these episodes.
You just gotta hear.
Yeah, we just didn't find the whole fighting with zombies and fighting people. I don't know. You guys just complain too much.
Yeah, they're spoiled.
Yeah. All right, we gotta end this podcast.
Yes,
Someone
sir.
has to go. You can find Ace on Twitch, YouTube, Ace of Type 0. Go follow him. Watch him. He's awesome. He's awesome. Between all 3 of us, he can probably wipe the floor easily.
That's why he's called Ace.
He's the ace. He's definitely the ace. So before we end, we were talking about this. WAKKA and I were talking about this. If you are in story survival, right? Characters, who would you be and why? Who do you see yourself being? Story survival characters, not Descendants. Story survival.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Please don't call me Datu just because he's Filipino.
No,
you're not that much of a handyman.
Yeah, not at all.
No, I told him because when he asked me that question, we were like, you know, pinpointing people, even you. I said I would be more of a Briggs or Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Briggs or Sean.
I mean, I know I'm not as fit, but loving and caring, I got your back. If anything go down, I got you.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we said?
You know what we said?
Oh god.
Story survival and Descendant. Descendants first. We can see you being Vincent. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah,
Vincent,
I can see you being Vincent. Like all those cockiness of saying, like I can beat this. It's just easy going, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yep,
like
that's how
I
see you
survived
as.
my life being by myself, and nothing harmed me, even zombies. Like this is nothing.
Hey, it just fits with my life motto. I don't die. I just get close.
Right. Yeah, I know. And then in story survival, I can see you being the white version of Saul. 100% white version of Saul. Yeah.
Just call me a white boy, right?
No, and the big part of it is lady. You love your dog.
Just because I got a small dog.
And your dog is how I picture lady.
But it's a full chihuahua. It's a chihuahua. Or no, it's a puggle.
Yeah, but I can
It's a
like
puggle.
it's lady, who did I say? Me?
You said you would have been. You also fit as a Saul, like because you're obnoxious and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can be Victor though.
And Victor, we also mentioned that.
Yeah. Oh, Fernando. Yeah, I can be Victor for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
that would make you Fernando.
Yeah. And you're Saul. Perfect. Like this is it. You're seeing us right here.
I couldn't think of anyone else, but other than Briggs and Shaw.
Yeah. Because I told him, except zombies. Don't compare yourself to zombies. Like you can be the behemoth, but you're not those. Just characters. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this episode. If you know any of your friends listening to our Alive Descendants, send them this link and let them know. We're gonna have Casey Whalen in one of our episodes. That's very exciting. Like,
coming up soon.
It's gonna be
awesome. We know it's gonna be after this one and before the next
one.
Exactly.
Season or the next half starts.
I don't even care when. I just know it's gonna happen. I just know it's gonna happen. Right.
Can't believe it.
Exactly. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow and subscribe. Comment down below. And then that's it. See you guys later. Bye. Perfect.